The Pfizer documents part 2 were released very recently. What do they say about natural immunity as compared to the vaccine immunity? What do they say about the adverse reactions? And what questions should we be able to ask about all this information going forward? Let's talk about this right now, guys. Okay, so like usual, please, if you can always like, share, subscribe, follow, all those beautiful words to all my social media outlets, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook at Real Ryan Klbaba, Rumble, Telegram, all RPKULBABA. That would be great. Thank you very much. So, controversial topic here we're going to dive into. And guys, I want to be very crystal clear about what I'm going to say going forward here in regards to this topic, because it's a clearly controversial topic. Obviously, I have no medical degree. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I'm not a psychiatrist. I have nothing to do with the medical field whatsoever. I have no opinion on what you should be doing with your body going forward. You do whatever is best for you and your body. I am in no situation and by no means telling you or influencing you on what you should do medically with your body or anything. I'm just going to be reiterating facts, data, stats, and asking questions, which hopefully we should still be able to do going forward. Okay. So, let's talk about a few things going forward here. Some information to go on here. So first topic number 1. What do the documents say about natural immunity as opposed to vaccine immunity? Now this is what was said, okay? And I got this information, of course, from The Hill Rising with Kim Iverson. She did a great job breaking it all down for me to watch and others. So a little plug for Kim and The Hill Rising. Good show. All right. So in terms of natural immunity, what we found out is those with previous COVID-19 infections had no difference in outcome than the vaccinated. None of the vaccinated or previous people infected with COVID-19 resulted in severe disease. There were 0 cases of COVID in the natural immunity group, whether they were vaccinated or not. So that means natural immunity was statistically identical to the vaccinated against infection. So now, I will not tell you guys how to interpret that, okay? You guys form your own opinion on how to say that in terms of the efficacy or the efficiency of natural immunity versus vaccine immunity. They seem to be on par with each other. You guys say and interpret that any way you want. Again, I'm just reporting on what I've heard, okay? Adverse reactions. So now it has come to be that the more frequent and severe adverse reactions were actually in the younger age group of under 55. So older than 55, they tended to have less and less frequent adverse reactions. And of course, we both know that, the younger you are, the less likely it is you will contract COVID. So it's a little odd, little interesting tidbit of information there that we got. 1 in 10,000 are now at risk for myocarditis, which is more than previously thought. Okay, and we still don't know the effects on sperm, pregnancy, on a fetus, or a nursing child. We still don't know those effects yet, okay? Now, that could be an important point that I'm going to address in a little bit here, okay? So now, one point also left out is in all ages and dose groups, after 1 dose and 1 week, the white blood cell counts dropped. In other words, in layman's terms, your immune system was weaker for the 1 week that you had the 1 dose of the vaccine. Now, again, wouldn't you want to know that going forward, right? If you're going to take this vaccine, that's something that you should, you should know. Of course it is, right? But now we know. We didn't know this before. So now that I don't know if I'm still on YouTube or not at this point in the video, we will see going forward. But there's obviously some important questions that we should be able to ask going forward. When a big tech, when a company, when a business, when a corporation, such as Pfizer puts this information out, this is information they've put out. It is now public. It is available for discussion. Ought we not be able to ask questions on this information? I hope so. We should be able to in a true democracy, right? So let's ask some questions based on this information that we know. That's what we should be able to do. And who should we be able to ask these questions to? Of course, right? So should we now be able to debate the term safe and effective? Should we be able to debate both the safeness and the effectiveness going forward? And should that term be used going forward again? We should be able to ask that question. It's just a question, right? Is the science settled, as was previously said a year ago? I remember the governor of New York, Cuomo. He was always in press conferences saying the science is settled. Well, now we have some information. Now we have some science and data. And it appears that the science, we'll leave it up to you guys to determine if the science is settled or not. In my opinion, science is never settled because science is always testing and drawing new conclusions. So the science should never be settled. But should we be able to ask that going forward? Is the science always settled in regards to this? New information, new data, new stats have been coming out, as we have heard. So now, will any government or politician mention this Pfizer dump in their press conferences relating to COVID coming up? Will they bring this stuff up? Should they, from their perspective, bring this stuff up? From what they want to tell us? Should they, from their eyes, tell us this information? There's a chance that Governor DeSantis in Florida probably will. He might. However, going forward, I don't know. I don't know, because if you think from their perspective, from their mind, is it good for them if they mention this stuff going forward? Think about that. But should they? We'll leave that up to you to determine. What impact will this information, this data, these stats have on future mandates and restrictions? Can they be justified in any way going forward now? That's a question that does need to be asked of any politician going forward. And how can they justify this when they always say we're following the science? Well, now we have the science to follow, and we'll be getting more of it every month from Pfizer. So how will this affect restrictions and mandates going forward, and can they be justified anymore? We shall see. How can we justify the use of the vaccine passport, knowing how on par, for lack of better words, natural immunity is to vaccine immunity? Where's the justification going to come from now, and how will it be justified going forward? This will be interesting to see how, if at all, it will be justified if anyone decides to implement this pass going forward. But again, maybe the most important question we need to ask going forward is that exact one. Okay? Should natural immunity proof be accepted along with the vaccine pass, the vaccine immunity? Given what we know now about natural immunity and vaccine immunity, should proof of natural immunity be accepted by every country, by every province, by state, by businesses? Should natural immunity be something that should be considered going forward? something to very much make a good point about. And again, one more question going forward, maybe the most important one. Now, of course, the answers might be obvious to a lot of people, of course. But given the results of what we've just found out, is there a conflict of interest with the CEO of Pfizer coming out saying we need a fourth dose? Or will he say so going forward now? Will there be and of course some of us have our own answers, but I'm just reiterating the questions we should be asking. Is there a financial conflict of interest that may get in the way of this person not advertising, but wanting another fourth dose going forward, knowing what we do know about the results of this study? Should we take information or questions or statements from this person with a grain of salt going forward? Should we question it, knowing the financial impact this could have and has had on Pfizer? Again, some of you will have the most obvious answers in your head. I'm just posing questions that we should be able to ask going forward. I hope you guys understand what I'm doing right here. Okay? So it's going to be interesting to see how this information and future document dumps, I guess it's the first of every month. It's going to be interesting to see what impact and how this information will impact any mandates, restrictions, anything going forward. We will see, but hopefully we'll still be able to ask the appropriate questions, what I just asked right now, and other ones, of course. Okay? Okay, guys, so that's it for now. Who knows how long I'll be allowed on YouTube and on Facebook after this video. We will see. Maybe it could be a while. Maybe they'll take me off. Maybe they'll leave me on. Hopefully, this was good enough. And again, if you guys like what you see, like what you hear, watch this video over here for a bit. And then once you're done, watch this video as well. They were very good. Love them. Okay, guys, we will be back another day to talk about another topic. Thanks for listening and watching. See you guys soon.